Welcome to the Property Profits Real Estate Podcast, the show where real estate investors talk strategy, capital, deals, and growth with your host, Dave Dubeau.
Hey, folks, welcome back. Today, our special guest, zooming in from Florida, is a very accomplished real estate investor. Dave Foster has been in the business for many years, and he's become an expert on exchanging properties, moving up using 1031 exchanges, not just for his own portfolio, but also working with others to make that happen as well. So, Dave, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Well, with that single introduction, I now feel officially old. Thank you.
Well,
it's great to be here.
Yeah, it sounds better than say he's a brand new whippersnapper who doesn't know anything.
That's awesome.
So, maybe give us a little rundown, like on the investing side of things. How long have you been an active real estate investor for, and what does that side of your business look like these days?
Well, I started investing. My family, my gosh, they were homesteading in the Midwest back in the early 1800s. And one of the things they always taught me, I remember my great-grandfather saying this to me directly. There's two people in the world that have always owned it. And it's the bankers and it's the people that own the land. And he said, and David, I hate bankers. So that, that kind of sealed my fate. I was going to have to become someone that loved real estate, but actively as a modern investor, I've been doing this since the mid-90s. Mm-hmm. And that was actually when I discovered the power of the 1031 exchange. So I've invested in all. I also have a little touch of ADD. Yeah. And I love real estate. So show me a deal I've never done. I want to do it. And so that's just kind of who I am. But this whole thing just kind of became born of the single greatest mistake I ever made.
What was that?
Which was I bought a piece of real estate in Denver, Colorado, my first one. And we were going to build our portfolio so we could buy a sailboat and sail away and raise our family. So there's the setup. That's the goal. So being ready, fire, aim, Dave, I bought a piece of property. I fixed it up. I put a renter in it. I sold it. I made a ton of money. But I didn't realize I had a silent partner till my accountant informed me that Uncle Sam was going to get his share. That did not fit into the model. And so
that put a dent in the sailboat lifestyle.
Oh my gosh, did it ever? Yeah. So right at that time, there was a huge court case that had been settled. Some people still remember it to this day, called Starker versus the Commissioner, which is why these things are sometimes called Starker exchanges. And what was a 100-year-old part of the code was now all of a sudden available to people like you and me.
Thanks, Mr. Starker.
Exactly. That changed the whole landmark. From that moment on, we used the 1031 exchange for ourselves.
What year was that, give or take?
That was in the next piece of property is 1997.
Okay. Yeah.
And so over the course of 10 years, we grew our portfolio in Colorado, moved it to Connecticut, then moved it to Florida. We're able to buy a 53-foot sailboat with tax-free cash, and we lived on it and raised our family on it for 10 years while we lived off of the income from our vacation rental and commercial real estate portfolio without ever paying another penny in capital gains tax.
All thanks to good old 1031 exchange.
So that's how we lived. And during the course of that, someone said, Dave, why don't you do this for other people? And I went, oh, okay, I'm not the brightest candle on the cake, but I think I can make that happen. And so that's what we did.
Okay, so these days, do you still hold a real estate portfolio yourself? Is that the underlying thing?
We do. We've still got some rentals. We invest now a little more selectively in a little larger projects. Mm-hmm. We're doing some development, which doesn't qualify for 1031 totally, but we're finding ways to make it work.
Yeah.
And but it's also one of those things where we're now investing for the next generation. So I'm starting over with my children, and we're starting to build their portfolios, and they too are doing it all tax deferred.
Yeah. Well, they're learning from the old man there. That's what they should be doing, right?
Hey there, if you're a capital raiser, a syndicator, or a fund manager, and you're looking for a steady flow of incoming accredited investor leads, then go ahead, grab a free copy of my new book, How to Get 20 Accredited Investor Meetings Every Month Without Cold Calling, Networking, or Chasing People. You can get that at 20accreditedinvestorsbook.com. Again, that's the number 20accreditedinvestorsbook.com.
Very good. So, Dave, you've done a good job kind of explaining what a 1031 exchange is. Maybe, if you don't mind, pull out a recent example for one of the clients that you've been working with. What kind of property did they have? What situation were they in? How did the 1031 exchange for them work? Kind of maybe walk us through an example.
Okay, here's a fun one from today.
Yeah.
So 1031 qualifies for any type of investment real estate anywhere in the country. So you could sell single families and buy commercial. You can sell in Tempe, Arizona, and buy in New York. Anywhere, which is key, because that lets you capture not only where the market is to invest, but also where you are in your personal life cycle.
Which is kind of what you did, right?
That's exactly what we did.
Colorado to
exactly
Connecticut.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
So today's example is a guy who's selling a property in Melbourne, Florida.
Okay.
He got transferred from there, where he's been managing a small 4-unit building, and he got transferred to North Carolina. So he doesn't want to manage long distance. So we are selling that 4-unit for 1-point-something million. And he is going to buy a beach front rental in North Carolina so he and his family can go to it very quickly. He's going to buy a duplex so he can generate just pure cash flow. And he's buying, you're going to love this, a deeded boat slip to put his boat in. Because a boat slip isn't real estate unless it has a deed. And if it has a deed, it's real estate. So
he's selling the one asset and getting 3 others where he's going to be living.
Exactly. Near where he's going to be living. Yes.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Okay. Well, that's interesting. So correct me if I'm wrong. Is part of the deal with a 1031 that you have to be trading up? You can't be going down. Is that correct? Or am I allowed to watch with that?
Well, if you want to defer all tax, you've got to purchase at least as much as you sell.
Right.
Now, in that guy's case, all 3 of those assets are much less. But the total is what matters.
Yeah, each asset individually is less, but put together, they're the same or more than the original.
Exactly. You can always buy more, and that's quite frankly what most investors do.
Right.
They take the profits in equity that's been, we call it dead equity, and use that to buy bigger things. That's called a consolidation exchange. Diversification is selling one and buying several. And you also can buy less than you sell, but you'll pay tax on the difference. So many times we'll have an investor who will have a huge pent-up passive loss from something stupid that they did. And so they'll sell their real estate, we'll do a 1031 exchange, but they'll take enough cash that they can recover from the oops moment, and it's not going to cost them tax-wise because it's going to be offset with the passive loss.
There's a few oops moments happening these days.
I've done my share, +1.
Yeah. So obviously you're a big fan. You've been living the 1031 life for quite some time here, Dave. What are some of the not so great things about 1031 exchanges? What are some of the pitfalls people have to be aware of before they do this?
So just procedurally, they're kind of scary.
Okay.
Because from the date of the closing of your sale, you only have 45 days to find your next property. And you only have 180 days to close on it. So just right off the bat, that feels very scary. Now, the way that we kind of talk people off the ledge, if you will, is that you need to know that you can go into contract on your new property anytime you want. You just can't take title to it till after you close your sale. So we tell people you need to be shopping months before you're ready to actually start putting offers in, or put in offers with contingencies in them.
Right.
Anything you can do to mitigate that. But really, ultimately, if you simply use the contract date of your sale, you go into contract and then you start shopping, you don't have 45 days, you've got maybe 90. And if you can't find a property in 90 days, something's really, really wrong with you or the market. And
right. And you don't have to
there's
close on it in
opportunities.
90 days. You just have to get it under contract.
That's exactly right, in that first 45 days. But that's the single biggest stigma. And so what I'm fond of telling people is that really, I know it's scary, but your first 1031 exchange is going to be the scariest. It really gets mundane after that.
Sounds like my sex life.
You know, I don't know. Yeah, that's a left turn down that alley. I'm not sure we want to make.
No, we don't. I thought I'd throw you for a loop there, my friend.
Oh gosh, but that's strategic. Now, as far as strategically, though, when people are doing 1031 exchanges, they need to understand two things. The first one is that they need to be laser focused, partly because of those timing issues, but partly because you've got to be able to understand where you want to go.
Okay.
Someone shouldn't just wake up tomorrow and say, "Oh, I can save taxes. I'm going to sell this property today." There needs to be a why. Why am I selling this property? Then let's use the 1031 exchange to answer the why question. And it could be something as simple as the property that I own is 20 years old. There's deferred capital expense items. I'm going to have to put a $30,000 roof on it. And I'm generating $500 a month in net profit. Well, that's going to take a bunch of your next 10 years of income, isn't it? So you sell that to go buy a newer property. And you use the 1031 exchange as the tool that lets you do that without having to pay a tax.
Well, I got a question for you from your own personal experience, Dave. When you were moving your portfolio from, let's say, Connecticut to Florida, did you try to do that all in one fell swoop, or did you do it kind of piece by piece?
We did it piece by piece. Now, you don't have to, but that is a common strategy for folks nearing retirement. You know, they live in Cincinnati, they got a portfolio there, they want to retire in Sarasota.
Right.
So over time, as they sell each one, they go buy their next one. So they're not trying to look at a market for multiple purchases. They just need to find one at a time.
Yeah.
And then here's what happens. At the end, when they're ready to retire, they sell their last home that they live in. And I don't know if you, your listeners who are in the States will understand this if it's your primary
That's
residence.
most of our listeners.
Yeah. And you've lived in it for 2 out of the previous 5 years. As a married couple, you get the first $500,000 of profit tax-free. So sell that house, that profit's tax-free. Now, you could use that to go buy your retirement home in Sarasota, or you could convert one of the previous purchases into your retirement home. And when you do that, simply converting the use of the property doesn't create a taxable event. So by taking their time...
Kind of like the example of the guy's boat slip you were telling me about.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, because it could be used as a rental, but he's using it himself, right? But that's okay.
Right. Well, actually what he's doing, it's a cool model. They're going to Airbnb the boat. It's beautiful. There's a couple down here in St. Petersburg. They're hotter than pistols. But what he's going to do, he's going to Airbnb it. And then because he's also got his captain's license, he's going to offer as an add-on, an Airbnb add-on, sunset cruises, along with dinner cruises.
Very
It's a great model.
Yeah, it is.
I'm really happy for him. I think it's going to work well for him. So that's
for yourself.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, from a strategic perspective, more time is better than less. And that's the other thing people have to think about is that investing as a 1031 investor, to get the full benefit, it's a slow cooker, it's a crock pot. It's not a microwave. But the benefits are going to be better for you.
Yeah, for sure. So for yourself as an intermediary, who's kind of like the ideal person that you can help? Like, where does it really make sense for you and for your clients at what point?
Anybody that is thinking about selling a piece of investment real estate, and that could be a first-time investor, that could be somebody with 500 doors. But if they're thinking about it, they need to make 2 phone calls. First, they need to call their accountant and say, what's my tax liability? Because in today's day and age, with accelerated depreciation, cost segregations, and all of that, I get people that call me all the time and say, I'm only going to make $100,000 on this. I think I might just pay the tax. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a short-term rental in the Smoky Mountains? Yeah, I bought it a couple years ago. And when you did you cost segregate it? Oh, yeah, because my account said it was a good idea. Well, guess what? Your tax bill isn't going to be on 100,000. It's going to be on 700,000 or 800,000. So are you ready to pay $150,000 in tax? The light goes on. You got to call your account and find out where you're really at. Secondly, call us to talk through strategically what your options are. And then you can share with us what your goals are. What's the why? And what do you want to do with that money? And that's how we can best help position people.
Awesome, Dave. If people want to connect with you, where should they go? What should they do?
Simply come to the 1031investor.com. I've got a whole YouTube series of all kinds of short educational clips, opportunities, calculators, opportunities to talk to us. Whole 9 yards right there.
And what's the website again?
The 1031investor.com.
All right. And those are the numbers 1031, correct?
Exactly.
Got it. Dave, thanks very much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, everybody, take care, and we will see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to the Property Profits Podcast. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, apply at daveinterviews.com.